welcome to a new astral adventure. Today we are playing the Star Wars Battle of Hoth board game by Days of Wonder, specifically diving into a critical scenario where the Rebel Alliance must evacuate Echo Base before the Empire crushes them. Scenario: escape from the Battle of Hoth forces, Galactic Empire, AT-ATs, Snow Troopers vs. Rebel Alliance, Snow Speeders Troopers. In this playthrough, we focus on holding the line against the Imperial assault, targeting the walkers, and maneuvering our troops through the frozen terrain to make a desperate escape. Will the Empire destroy the shield generators, or will we find a way out? In Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, the Battle of Hoth is a pivotal conflict where the Galactic Empire discovers and raids the Rebel Alliance's secret Echo base. While the Empire wins a tactical victory by destroying the base, the Rebels achieve a strategic success by successfully evacuating their core leadership and fleet. Key events of the battle discovery: an Imperial Viper probe droid locates the base, prompting Darth Vader to bypass the doubts of Admiral Ozzel and launch a full-scale assault. The ground assault, led by General Maximilian Veer's Imperial forces, deploy AT-AT walkers, Blizzard Force, to destroy the base's main power generator. Rebel defense: Luke Skywalker leads Rogue Squadron in modified T-47 Snow Speeders. Lacking enough firepower to pierce AT-AT armor, they use tow cables to trip the massive walkers. The evacuation: the Rebels use a high-powered V-150 ion cannon to disable Star Destroyers in orbit, creating a gap for their GR-75 transports to escape. Vader's arrival: after the shield generator is destroyed, Vader personally leads the 501st Legion into the base, nearly capturing Princess Leia and Han Solo before they escape in the Millennium Falcon. Major characters and roles: characters side role during battle. Luke Skywalker, Rebels rogue leader, pioneered the tow cable tactic. Han Solo, Rebels, rescued Luke from a blizzard, led the escape on the Falcon. Darth Vader, Empire, commanded the fleet, personally entered Echo Base to find Luke. General Veer's Empire ground commander successfully destroyed the shield generator. Princess Leia, Rebels, supervised the evacuation until the final moments. Admiral Ozzel, Empire, executed by Vader for alerting the Rebels by dropping out of hyperspace too close to Hoth. Iconic vehicles: AT-AT, all-terrain armored transport. Massive four-legged Imperial walkers serving as mobile fortresses. Snow Speeder, T-47 airspeeder, agile Rebel atmospheric craft used for harassment and defense. Millennium Falcon, escape craft for Leia, Han, Chewbacca, and C-3PO. Executor, Vader's massive 19-kilometer-long Superstar Destroyer, which served as the Imperial significance. The defeat at Hoth forced the rebellion into a state of scattering across the galaxy, operating from small, hidden rendezvous points rather than a centralized headquarters. It also marked the start of Luke's journey to Dagobah to train under Master Yoda, a move initiated by a vision of Obi-Wan Kenobi following a near-fatal attack by a Wampa on Hoth. Headline: discover the untold story behind the greatest sequel ever made, The Empire Strikes Back. Body: join us for a deep dive into the chaotic production of Star Wars Episode 5. While A New Hope was a surprise hit, The Empire Strikes Back was a financial and creative gamble that nearly broke George Lucas. From freezing on set in Norway and complex puppetry for Yoda to the shocking secrecy surrounding that famous Vader plot twist, we go behind the scenes with Hollywood insiders who were there. In this episode, we explore how ILM pioneered practical effects in the Hoth battle, the lost documentary footage from 1980, why Irvin Kershner changed the tone to a darker, more mature story. Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford's raw behind-the-scenes interviews. Subscribe for more Hollywood history. Released on May 21, 1980, The Empire Strikes Back is often hailed as the greatest sequel in cinema history. While now a critical masterpiece, its production was famously fraught with delays, financial risk, and extreme weather, production secrets and challenges. George Lucas's big gamble. To maintain creative independence, Lucas famously self-financed the movie with $33 million using his own earnings and bank loans. The nightmare in Norway, filming on the Hardanger Glacier, Hoth, was hit by the worst winter storm in 50 years. Temperatures plummeted to sub-zero levels, forcing director Irvin Kershner to film some scenes of Mark Hamill running into the snow from the safety of the hotel lobby. The Dagobah Swamp, the Dagobah set, was built entirely on a stage at Elstree Studios in London. It featured a stagnant artificial lake that became foul-smelling over weeks of filming. Designing Yoda, puppeteer Frank Oz controlled Yoda from beneath the set. Sculptor Stuart Freeborn modeled Yoda's face on his own, adding Albert Einstein's wrinkles to suggest wisdom. The legendary plot twist, the revelation that Darth Vader is Luke's father, was kept in total secrecy. During filming, Vader actor David Prowse actually said, "Obi-Wan killed your father," to prevent the real line from leaking. Only Lucas, Kershner, and Mark Hamill knew the truth before the film's release. The rest of the cast found out at the premiere. Legacy and reception divided critics. Surprisingly, original reviews were mixed. Some critics found the cliffhanger ending and darker tone unsatisfying compared to the lighthearted original. Academy recognition. The film won 2 Academy Awards, Best Sound and a Special Achievement Award for Visual Effects. Iconic music. John Williams introduced the world to The Imperial March, Darth Vader's theme, in this film, which has since become one of the most recognizable themes in music history. Quick facts, detail information. Director Irvin Kershner. Screenwriters Lee Brackett and Lawrence Kasdan. New characters Yoda, Lando Calrissian. Boba Fett global gross, over 550 million, original and re-releases. The Battle of Hoth, making the AT-ATs walk the Imperial Walkers. AT-ATs are one of the most iconic examples of practical effects in film history. They were brought to life using a mix of traditional stop motion and innovative engineering. Elephant Gate. To make the machines feel real, animators Phil Tippett and John Berg studied elephants at the San Francisco Zoo. They used an elephant's walking pattern as the blueprint for the AT-AT's movement to ensure the weight and rhythm felt natural. The snow problem. Real snow was too difficult to work with on a miniature scale. Instead, the ILM crew used baking soda and microscopic glass bubbles to create the snowy Hoth landscape. Trapdoor sets. The miniature sets were built on raised platforms with trapdoors. This allowed animators to pop up from below, move the heavy metal models just a fraction of an inch, and then duck back down to take the shot. Speed of production. Filming was painstakingly slow. At 24 frames per second, the team often achieved only 1 to 5 seconds of usable footage after a full day of work. Optical tricks. To create a sense of scale, distant walkers were sometimes just Polaroid photo cutouts with slightly articulated legs. The script that almost was Lee Brackett's draft. Before Lawrence Kasdan wrote the final script, science fiction legend Lee Brackett completed a first draft in 1978. It was radically different from the movie we know today. No father twist. In Brackett's version, Darth Vader is not Luke's father. Instead, the ghost of Luke's actual father, Anakin Skywalker, appears on Dagobah to train him. A different sister. Luke still has a twin sister hidden away, but she isn't Leia. Her name is Nelith Skywalker. Different names. Yoda was originally named Minch. Lando Calrissian's last name was Kadar, and he was introduced as a clone from the Clone Wars. Han's mission. Instead of being frozen in carbonite, Han Solo survives and heads off to find his stepfather, Oven Marikal, a powerful political figure who might help the rebellion. Wampa invasion. Instead of the AT-AT battle, the rebels were originally going to be besieged inside their base by a large pack of Wampas, a sequence that was partially filmed but ultimately cut.